Welcome to the Rad Conversations podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Rad Conversations. This week we have Tricia Orbe with us again, and she has the YouTube channel Cosmic Shaman. We have a very meaningful conversation. We dive into the world of intuitive gifts, soul contracts, and past life echoes, and those powerful moments of divine timing. All that and more coming up on this episode of Rad Conversations. And remember, if you enjoy the show, please like, subscribe, and share. All right, let's dive in. So have you and your family remote viewed to the same location? Like, hey, I'll meet you South America in 5 minutes kind of thing? Or when you guys
I wish it was like that. I kind of enjoy flying places. So when I think about remote viewing, I'm not thinking about going anywhere on this earth. I really am not. There was a time when my son, because he started meditating before me, and I couldn't quiet the mind enough. And he awakened when he was like 10, 11 years old. And
Wow.
So he stayed with my mom a lot, and my mom kind of nurtured that. I was too earthly to be able to assist in that for him, you know? And he awakened early, and then there was a time he said, and I was talking to him about meditation. I was like, well, where do you go? What do you see? And he's like, well, try to come with me. He's like, when I go, it's like a beach, and it's pastel color, and it's really peaceful and really beautiful. And now I can visualize that, but when I visualize it and go into it in my mind, I was looking for him in the physical flesh. And so I was like, I can't get it, Isaac. I can't see that. I'm not there with you. And so I wasn't making the proper connections. Because I didn't know that. And I was just trying to learn from him, and he didn't know how to explain it. So I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, my childhood best friend, that her family practically raised me, I went to go visit her when I had moved back to San Antonio, and I met her youngest son, and I hadn't talked to her in years, like decades. And I was like, hey, I'm back home. Like, what are the chances? Let me go visit. When I walked into her house, she's like, oh, let me introduce you to my youngest son. And when he came out of the room, his jaw, like, he just kind of was like, oh my gosh. And then he pulled a chair and sat right in front of me. You're here. You're here. And I was like, what? He goes, I had a dream, and I saw you. You were wearing this. I had like a black jumper on and all my turquoise on. And he's like, you were wearing this, and you were coming down a spiral step. And you told me, just wait. I'll be meeting you soon. And he's like, you're here. And I was like, okay. And I understand now how deep that hit him, because I'm like a second mother, or like a mentor for him, and he's young, but he is so strong in his gifting beyond me. Like, I have the knowing that me helping him, he's going to turn around and not only expand me, but really help a lot more people. So I was like, wow.
So is he under 10?
No, he's 22 now, I believe. I think he's 22 or 21.
So that was the first time you met him, was roughly in the teenagers years?
Yeah, like 19, 20. Mm-hmm.
And wow. And so did you feel an instant bond with him when he said all that to you?
I definitely felt water energy coming in, and that's what I told him. His mom has no understanding, no comprehension. This is what we're talking about is not in her lane. And so I understand what it's like to be him and not have what I had growing up, you know? So I've helped him. And go ahead.
Do you feel like that he is the whole reason you were friends with her earlier in life, to get to him later in life?
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Mm-hmm. Because her family became like second family to me. And I know that we've all incarnated from places, and, you know, you and I could be siblings from a past life. And the connection that I felt to him was very star system and star lineage. And I said, oh, it's very blue, very whale. Like you carry the knowledge of whales, the frequency. And he pulled up his sleeve. He goes, yep, he's got a big old circular whale tattoo with the
Wow.
cosmos around it. I was like, yeah.
So, do you feel like he was part of your soul family?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like he is somebody that incarnated here, and I was put in his contract that if he didn't develop by a certain age or was having difficulty, that I would come into his field again.
Wow. How many people do you think are in your soul contract?
A
Soul family.
lot. Well, when I say a lot, so I've tapped into this before, like when I have connections with certain people, and then that connection builds an outer connection, and then that connection builds an outer connection. So to say how many people are in my soul family is, it's kind of like how our families are here. Like I have my siblings and I have my cousins and then I have their family. So it's like who I run into as soul tribe here, they expand and I expand, and then they expand and I expand. And it's like unity consciousness just all coming on board together.
How many people have you had a reaction to, like that guy that you've just randomly came in contact with and had an instant connection with?
Not any on that deep level, but yes, I've had a lot of interactions where there is a soul remembrance, whether it's both of us who have the soul remembrance or usually me. For example, there was a time I had laid down for bed, and this is when I was living in shirts. I had laid down for bed, and Spirit was like, "Get up and go to Whataburger." I was like, "What? Whataburger?" And then I would have lemonade in my mouth. Like I could taste, okay, I'm going to go to Whataburger and I'm going to get a lemonade. So I drove out there. I started driving to Whataburger, and I got a text message from somebody. Like I was on a dating app, and this one of the persons that we had connected or matched with was not somebody I was interested in. He had messaged me and he's like, "Hey, can you meet up with me by chance?" And I was like, "You want to meet at Whataburger?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm right around the corner from there. I'll be right there." I had never met him before. We did not like exchange anything that would say, let's get to know each other on a deeper level. So I was in the parking lot. I got my lemonade and I pulled into the parking lot, and he pulled into. And I rolled down the window because at this point, this is a God pool, right? This is God working. This is the divine working. So I trust nothing is going to happen. I'm safe. I rolled down my window. I said, "Hey, jump in my car. Jump in the truck." And he gets in, and right away I feel his energy. I feel his vibration. And I said, "You've been praying. You've been praying for a solution. You've been praying for an answer." I said, "I don't know what your beliefs are, but hi, I'm the answer to your prayer, that specific prayer," right? This is me practicing how to interact with people, and that's what came out. And he's like, "I believe you." He goes, "I'm struggling with this, and that." And he goes, "I'm trying to get a job. I have, what are those things that fly around like
Drone?
drones?" He's like, "I work with drones for like insurance purposes where they go fly over and do things." He goes, "But I'm missing this next step for my career. I need XYZ. I am restarting my life. I don't have any money. I don't have anything." And I had already learned I'm not financially helping anybody, because when I do that, I overextend myself. And so I was like, okay. And so I'm listening to him and I'm like, I know I can help this way. And so when I offered it, he's like, "Really? Really? You would do that for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yes." And that's all he needed. And now he's working and he got his life together and he's great. And we've not talked since then. And
Well,
it
you
was
haven't
just
talked
one of
since
those
the car.
here and there, like just to check, like he's still on my Facebook page, just here and there. So, but after that, like no. And I don't know if that freaked him out, but it helped him in that moment. And I've recognized this when we have those divine timing moments. it is not his earthly self or his ego self that is in the body at that moment. Anytime there's a God nudge, his higher self, his oversoul, whatever you want to call it, comes in to kind of override and listen and receive and then carry on.
I'm surprised he didn't fall in love with you like instantly. You know, if you had this kind of crazy, like you knew what he was going through and had this connection, like you're my soulmate. Like, you know, you understand me that nobody else does and you're willing to help me. You and we're a team now.
Yeah.
I've definitely been in situations to where I was unhappy with my last job and I just wanted to quit, and I just didn't have the cojones to quit. And a couple times in the job, I was compelled to go and do something that I knew was going to get me fired. I'm like, I'm walking up here, I'm going to upset the wrong people, but I cannot stop myself from walking up here to get in this interaction. And at the last second, I pulled back. There's a couple times in life where you just compelled and you're like, this is not going to end well, but I just cannot stop myself. And this last job, I just kept saying I was miserable. I kept saying I was going to quit, and I never quit. And then I ended up having a medical issue that forced me to quit. And, you know, some say it's a big issue, some say it's not an issue, but I'm like, I manifested that because I never would have taken that first step. I think it was God or the universe stepping in saying, this is what you should have done a long time ago, so we're going to make sure you cannot go back to that job. With that guy, backtracking a little bit, he never instantly fell in love with you or tried to get that to go farther? Or he was like, hey, I got what I needed from you, and thank you.
Yeah, pretty much it was one of those moments. And I can look at his Facebook profile and I'm like, yeah, this what I do is not even in his radar, his lifestyle. And I think sometimes people do that, like go see a psychic or go this, and they don't want anybody to know that side of them. And I think sometimes people have religion that keeps them afraid. I'm going to go do it for this, and I'm going to receive this, but this is not what we're supposed to be doing according to the Bible. So let's pull back. You know, I've had that a lot.
What do you think religion is for? Ultimately,
It's multi-layered for one. So religion in general is, from my perspective or from my lens, religion in general is to give everybody who doesn't have it a foundation of something bigger than you. And with everything, there is truth and there's deception in it. So I feel like the Bible has a lot of truth. I see the Bible as a map, but there's so much distortion in there as well. It was written by man, so if I wanted to speak on a supreme being and say these are his holy words, I would, that comes with that. With great power comes great responsibility. I would put certain things in there for my favor as well. So I see that with religion. I also see the caps and the limitations that it puts on different religions, like Muslim. And I'm not saying don't be Muslim, because we all have to have our foundational base. But isn't Muslim, are they the ones who teach men that they're going to be reborn and have like 7 virgins and
yeah, I think that's one
something like
version
that?
of it. Yeah, that's part of it.
That's
Yeah,
not true. Like, come on. At some point, we have to use our knowing. Come on. It's a limitation, especially
yeah.
on the women. If you think about it in this way, they took the female out of the equation. It's the Father, the Son, and they replace woman with the Holy Spirit. We don't even have, we're not even visible. So it's the Father, it's the Mother, and it's the child. But
Now,
that's not what religion teaches.
have you ever heard of Bob Lazar?
No.
He's the original whistleblower for Area 51.
Okay.
And when he was doing his whistleblowing on Area 51, he was on Joe Rogan, or he was doing a couple different interviews. I think it was back in the 80s or early 90s. He was doing his whistleblowing, but he was saying, he saw aliens at Area 51, or he might have saw an alien at Area 51, but he was saying that he saw CIA classified top secret book this large about religion. and then he just started talking about something else, and the interviewer's like, no, you got to go back to this. You got to tell us one thing that was in that book. He's like, oh, you're not going to believe me. And the guy's like, tell us. He's like, well, they just see us as containers down here, containers for souls.
Mm-hmm.
And religion is based on us not damaging the soul. Does that resonate at all for you?
On us not damaging the soul.
Yeah, like we're just down here living the human experience, and this is our human spacesuit kind of thing. And the basis of religion is just so we don't damage the product.
No. I feel like religion holds us back from being our full expression of the soul. Definitely. So to not damage it. The Bible, and even in the Quran, I believe, in some other things, they automatically tell us you're born with original sin. You are separate from God. So right away, we are less than instead of equals. So how does that protect my soul to not even be connected to God? Like, no.
When you were saying about you were back in the pyramid,
Okay.
do you, and you say it's a past life, do you feel like all timelines are happening right now?
Yes.
So you're just really remembering another fraction of yourself that's happening right now. Can you explain that a little better for everybody?
Well, this is something that's recently been coming into my field because, and this is how I relate it. This is where movies come in. What was the latest? Oh goodness, it's with Keanu Reeves, the Big Adventure. What is that movie? Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
So the latest movie, I remember watching it before I had deeper knowledge, and at the end, they show everybody from different timelines and different eras, right? All commingling together. Everybody's together. So when I sit back and I pan out at the world, I see people who are still living like they did in the 1800s, but not in the 1800s. Like, I have a friend who lives out in Pennsylvania, and she's farming, and she's got a lot of land, and she's doing the chicken, kind of like Little House on the Prairie style, era. And that works for her, but we're not all doing that. That's her. Maybe she's pulling that in from her lifetime that she didn't get to live that out. And then the way I view sports, the way I see football and baseball and all of that is the Coliseum, is the gladiators that's there for entertainment. And I'm like, all of these people, this is where they're still in that energetic frequency. So yeah, I see it like that.
That's what every time I watch football, and I enjoy football, but every time I watch it, I'm just like, this is just the Coliseum. They're just gladiators out there entertaining us. And it's just entertainment, so we're not, I don't know, I feel like we go from one distraction to another distraction to another distraction, so we're not really thinking about what's really going on around us. And I can't wait for the new episode of Tasks to come out tonight at 9 o'clock. I've already talked to my wife twice about it. So, I'm all about the distractions, too. I'm scared of falling. I'm not scared of heights. Like, I'm an airplane or a tall building, I have no problem looking out. But when I get on a ladder and if I'm 10 feet off the ground, my legs start shaking and stuff. Do you think that's from past lives experiences that we're still remembering to this day?
Yeah, I think there's actually a few different layers, and there's probably more than that. So my mom also has a fear of heights, and I feel like part of it, I had this fear. I've been conquering them. And I feel like her fear of heights, not only could it come from a past life, and she feels it's a past life, and she doesn't want to work through it. She won't even get on a plane. Like, she won't do any of those things.
Thanks for watching the show today, folks. And if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and share. And like always, stay rad.